Thank you for your interest in Missouri's Special Education State Performance Plan and Annual Performance Report process. This is the complete list of SPP indicators. This presentation will cover Indicator 8 on parent involvement. Indicator 8 looks at the percent of parents with a child receiving special education services who report that schools facilitated parent involvement as a means of improving services and results for children with disabilities. We gather these data through a parent survey that is administered to 1/3 of school districts each year. Districts that are completing their compliance monitoring self-assessment are expected to distribute the survey to parents in their district. We combine the responses to 2 survey items for SPP Indicator 8. If a parent agrees or strongly agrees with the 2 items shown here, then we count that as a positive response for Indicator 8. This slide shows a list of resources for parents. Activities at the local level vary from district to district. If you know of good examples, please use the survey to let us know about ways that local school districts are encouraging and supporting parent involvement. Impact is a parent training and information resource that offers a wealth of support to families. The Office of Special Education has links to many resources on our website, and several years ago, we began offering facilitated IEPs to support parents and districts through better conversations during the IEP meetings. You can request additional information on any of these by sending an email to the address at the end of this presentation. Before we look at the actual data, let's look at response rates for the parent survey. Districts are required to distribute surveys to parents once every 3 years, and the surveys can either be filled out online or on paper. The response rate is the number of surveys returned compared to the number of students with disabilities in districts distributing surveys that year. The chart on the left shows response rates for several years. 2020 was lower than normal due to COVID-19, and the other years range from about 14 to 16%. The chart on the right shows the percent of respondents and special education child count by race ethnicity. We want survey responses to represent the students who receive special education services, but the data show that Black and Hispanic respondents are underrepresented. Ultimately, we want to see the overall response rate increase and to have more responses from parents of minority students. We'll be asking for suggestions on how to make this happen. This chart shows historical data and future target options for Indicator 8. The blue bars are the actual results for the past 6 years, showing that between 72 and 77% of parents said that their involvement with their child's education improved the child's achievement and that schools encouraged parents to be involved. The red line shows that the target for this indicator has been set at 70% for several years. The proposed target options are represented by the other colored lines on the chart. The first option, A, is the orange line that stays flat at 70%. Option B is the thicker gray line that is set at 73% for 3 years and then increases to 77% for another 3 years. The 3 years were selected because it takes 3 years to survey all districts in the state. Option C, the dashed green line, is set at a flat 75%. There's a link to a feedback survey at the end of this presentation. Please let us know which of these target options you prefer, or use the other option to propose different targets. On this graph, called a scatter plot, each dot represents one school district. The placement of the dot indicates the number of parent survey responses and their percent of agreement with this indicator. For example, the dot on the right is a district that had about 780 parent responses, and of those, about 77% indicated that their involvement was supported by the district and that the involvement made a difference for their child. The red line represents a possible target for Indicator 8. In this example, we chose 74%. Each dot above the red line represents a district that would meet or exceed the target, and each dot below the red line would be a district that would not meet the target. The orange box on the lower left of the graph shows districts that would not meet the target but had a very small number of responses, which makes it difficult to know if the responses are representative of all parents in those districts. The feedback survey asks important questions about improvement activities. Please help us identify what's working, what's not working, and what we can do to help improve results for students with disabilities so that the state and local school districts can meet the targets we are setting for the future. We are also asking for suggestions that will increase the response rate for the parent survey, both overall and for minority populations. We need your feedback. Click on the SurveyMonkey link on this slide to go directly to the survey, or you'll find these indicator recordings and feedback surveys on the SPP APR Stakeholder Information webpage. Questions about this process should be emailed to speddata@desi.mo.gov. Thank you so much for your time and participation.